remember E.V.A. Cybermancy? That zany, weird, out-of-this-world game made by Streum-on Studios? No? Well, it should. Apparently, there was a game and tabletop adaptation that set the precedent for E.Y.E. And no, you won't be able to download the tabletop version as stated by the devs. But there is rumor that some die-hard fans of the E.Y.E. are prototyping a TTRPG for this universe for the past 7 years, and soon to have a beta available. So maybe we'll see in the near future a close re-edition of the dark pen and paper Cyberpunk RPG. Bit of a tongue twister there. From a small team of nerd friends in France comes the mystical and fabled A.V.A. in 1998. There's no pictures, prototypes, releases, nothing. Only a couple of sparse interviews from the devs themselves claiming it to be ground zero in the E.Y.E. universe. Which, by the way, we still don't know what that acronym stands for. After scouring the internet for more related information, the Redditor was kind enough to post 2 links containing relics of info buried deep into the interwebs. I get some insights from these pages, and it gives me an interesting look into the early development of the studio. This site, A.V.A., which stands for Another Vision of Reality, was a project to bring different forms of art together. By its name alone, I suppose it's like an alternate reality project. Some trippy and hippie, I guess. It has a super trippy early 2000s vibes to it, and the age of design really shows. Browsing the website, I didn't see too many mentions of their side project E.Y.E. However, they do seem to have a really keen eye for abstract environmental art. I was determined to find something related to their other projects. Then finally, I came across the underground photos. You can clearly see some of these cryptic places were used on the artifact screens on E.Y.E. Divine Cybermancy. But the best caveat is this thing, an actual video named E.Y.E. Short Film. It's basically a shitty parapsychological horror. Don't try to understand it because you might go insane trying to interpret its meanings. Actually, I won't spoil it for you. Go and watch it yourself. It's pretty bad. This site actually dedicated to SBO was actually kind of hard to find because links on Google didn't really produce anything fruitful. The last update was the end of 2007, claiming that they made considerable leaps in development on E.Y.E. This game SBO was basically the experimental template for what is now E.Y.E. The team Streum-on were basically developer newbies and needed to test their crazy ideas. They had trouble testing internally, whatever that means, so that's why E.Y.E. was so buggy. At least we can give thanks to SBO because, well, if they had skipped this idea, then who knows how bad the mechanics of E.Y.E. would have actually been. We got something halfway playable. Now, skipping through some of the humdrum, the mod takes us through the foundation of this mod. It explains that it's only a small fraction of the E.Y.E. universe. Its inspirations such as, obviously, Warhammer, Predator, Aliens, The Thing, and many, many more, and a timeline of events broken up into periods, with the time that is now the Dark Ages. Yes, that's right. We are now living in the Dark Ages, my friends. That would be years before 2116 to now, game-wise, year 15, or 2395. So this shady megacorp named Prune that specializes in pretty much anything meta has you part of a crime syndicate, basically like a mafia or something, which is funded probably entirely by Prune, act as a cleanup squad, labeled as a private military. Prune wants you to kill these monsters before the Federation can investigate. It's theorized that Prune's interdimensional research unlocked the gates of hell, spilling all types of demons and crap at people. It's also theorized that this outreach feeds on negative emotions, so pretty much unkillable. My theory is that it's a virus since everyone, or almost everyone, is connected to a computer matrix. I mean, it would make sense because around this period, most people probably have cybernetic implants. this virus would hack their cyberbrains, causing hallucinations. My point being that these interdimensional monsters are actually digital instead of physical. Now, trying to get this game to run on a modern Windows PC felt nearly impossible. Well, first you have to find the 1.1.1.0 version of Half-Life. If you try to downgrade, you get this weird file path error. Luckily, after some sketchy sites, I finally found a full zip including some goodies I didn't really care about. I messed around with it for some length and it's extremely janky. The buttons sometimes don't work. I also had to run it at the lowest resolution to get some video going. Off to a great start. You're given a ton of maps and 3 game modes: Battle Royale, Bounty Killer, and Cooperative. Since I'm a shut-in and this game was meant for a group of nerds, I'll shoot my shot on Cooperative. This mode is like Terrorist Hunt from Rainbow Six Vegas. Killing anything that moves. Now, at first glance, this game doesn't look like much, but we get equipment, experience points, cyber tech, weight management, behavior management, and localized damage. That's actually kinda impressive given the experience of the devs. I choose my loadout and start this bad boy up. Now, holy shit, this thing did not want to run. I had to play around with it a bit to get some video, then my cursor stopped. So I reopen real quick and I choose my equipment. I forgot to mention that this game has pit bulls as equipment. I spawn in and I get on viciously quick. I bitch out and adjust some settings and I jump back in. It's still manageable, but these guys hit really hard, I'm telling you. So after some playing, the map kinda sucked and I'm not getting anywhere. I go back to try my luck on something a bit easier. I set everything to newbie and choose co-apart, which means apartment. So it seems each map has its own little story as well. I'm not going to bother going through them because my first impressions are dog water. So I load in and I still get my ass handed to me. I tried a different weapon and different armor, still got my ass kicked. Then the game crashes. And yeah, I'm about ready to give up at this point. I tried my last time to get something enjoyable out of this. I put on Code Gore because honestly the name stands out to me. The main objective of this map is to recover an artifact in a pile of entrails, a secret base taken over by the Federation. Okay, I play for a bit and hell, I don't know what is going on. And it's the first time I come across different monsters, finally. I make it about halfway and I cannot tolerate it no more. This by far has been one of the most shittiest pieces of software I've ever come across. The enemies hit way too hard given the fact that I have cyber armor. There's weird explosions every 5 seconds. It's crappy maps. Settings don't really do anything. I had to do this weird alt-tab sequence for it to work, and it just goes on and on and on. I probably threw it in the bin and burnt it with a flamethrower. Never playing that again. But there you go. I'm sure it would have been better with multiplayer, but the grounding is just too awful to bother with it. Probably why there are no games or anything. Streum-on Studios' evolution and gameplay definitely improved to the final draft that became I Divine Cybermancy. They basically took all these mechanics and refined them drastically. You can go ahead and download this mod and try it for yourself, but personally I would not bother. I is by far the superior game, bar none. With that being said, Streum-on has actually been developing a sequel to I on the Unreal Engine, which is of course a day one cop for me. I believe this game is called Demon Blades. It's like a Vermintide hybrid or something. Also, keep an eye out on the tabletop RPG being developed by following the I Discord for updates. Also, stay tuned for my next video in which I'll be discussing the hidden meanings in the graffiti in Rage 2011. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.